Originally announced back in June of 2018, Cuphead, the delicious last course, is finally coming out a little over 4 years later, this June 30th. We at XboxEra were invited to a preview event that showed off 13 minutes of all-new gameplay and a lengthy Q&A with Studio MDHR about everything that fans can expect. What I saw seems well worth this lengthy wait, so let's get right into it in the XboxEra preview of Cuphead, the delicious last course.
Delicious.
One of the biggest questions fans have had about Cuphead's DLC is just how is it integrated into the main game. The delicious last course adds a new island to the game, which can be accessed once you have cleared the first of the game's mausoleums. A boat appears on each island now and allows you to actually traverse back and forth between the game's landmasses as you unlock them, which is an incredibly welcome addition. A visit to the boatman will bring you to the new DLC island, where you quickly meet up with the legendary Miss Chalice herself. After offering Mugman a delicious-looking cookie, she swaps places with him, taking a physical form as he is turned ethereal. It's only temporary, of course, and is the story's reasoning as to how this long-dead golden cup lady has become a playable character. The new character, Chef Saltbaker, the greatest chef in all of the lands, is working on mastering the very astral plane itself. His recipe for the Wonder Tart is sure to restore Miss Chalice to the mortal world for good. Well, until she dies again, at least. The cookie itself is only good for temporarily swapping places, and by golly, we needs this tart to bring our friend back to life. Sadly though, the main ingredients for this wondrous confection are strewn about the island and being guarded by a bevy of new bosses, of course. There are no platform stages this time around, but Studio MDHR did promise in new, unique challenges that are a fresh experience will replace them. Outside of new story cutscenes and world exploration, we did get to see one new boss fight featuring jaw-dropping animations as Miss Chalice gave the old 1-2 to an icy wizard. This fight showed off the new multi-level transforming stages. Early on, things take place in an icy arena, and Miss Chalice's animation set is entirely new and built just for her. No shortcuts were taken here, as every single frame of animation was not only done by hand, but it was on even bigger paper than in the main game. This dedication to the craft was a big reason a DLC originally scheduled for 2019 ended up missing its target by 3 full years. The words "scope creep" and "announced too early" were uttered when they were asked just what happened. Thankfully, the person playing the demo we watched was quite good, because much like the original release, things look incredibly difficult. Miss Chalice and a few charm additions did have new tricks up their sleeves to try and even out the odds a little. Miss Chalice herself has a double jump, a dash forward parry, and an extra health point to contend with the fact that she takes up a charm slot to activate. One new charm mentioned when the question of difficulty came up was one that restored HP after a successful parry instead of adding to your super meter. A big part of that incredible dedication to animation is that it's all still just old school paper. There are no shortcuts taken at all, which means Miss Chalice not only has a fully new suite of movement animations, but her own unique super and plane animations as well. One super shown off to us in the preview was her spin that shot damage in a straight line up and down, which was key to her defeating the wizard boss. A couple of new attacks were talked about as well, the first being the Converge shot. It is a W-shaped attack that you can focus into a tighter pattern if you hold down the fire button before releasing it. The other was the Crack shot, which was another type of homing attack to help those, like myself, who have a challenging time aiming during the insanity that is a Cuphead level. Studio MDHR was kind enough to supply us with 3 different music tracks for our video coverage, and it's all bigger and better sounding classic tunes from the earliest 20th century. I've been humming the damned delicious last course opener since I heard it, and the boss music is a crazy, frenetic, and beautiful cacophony. They were quick to point out that most of the development time for this DLC was spent during the ongoing pandemic. Each song has up to 110 musicians playing on it, far more than the original. but they could never have more than 9 musicians in at a time for recordings. It's just one of the many issues that added to the amount of time this release took in coming out. But like the rest, it seems worth the struggle as the end result looks to be stellar. The other big question is how this DLC ties back into the main game. Anything you unlock can be brought back into any part of the original title. From Miss Chalice to the new charms and weapons, it all carries backwards thanks to the new fast travel boat system. The developers sounded excited at the speedrunning possibilities that the new additions to the game offer up, and depending on your skill set, the new DLC should take the average I beat Cuphead but just barely player roughly 3 to 4 hours. Priced at only $7.99 at launch, this seems like a perfect amount of content for something that is so insanely difficult and time-consuming to create visually. We were also teased that the new island has so many secrets. Wrapping things up, Cuphead The Delicious Last Course is shaping up to be, in the words of its creators, a really cool final send-off of the original Cuphead story, and I couldn't agree more. If you enjoyed the original, this seems like a perfect way to spend a bit more time before saying goodbye to this unique and excellent platformer. It is releasing on June 30th at the aforementioned $7.99 price and will be available on Xbox One, PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch, and PC. And no, there are no new native versions for the series or PS5 consoles, sadly. Keep your eyes peeled here on XboxEra for a review closer to launch. Thank you so much for watching, and if you can like, comment, and subscribe, but especially like, that really is the lifeblood of a YouTube channel. It would help us out quite a bit. We'll see you here next time on XboxEra.